Hello everyone. It has been a few weeks since my last video, which I posted from a hospital bed while awaiting emergency surgery. I'm glad to say I'm back in action again. I'll share a bit about that eventful day in the hospital. But first, I want to show you what I've been working on with the shipping container and sharing my thoughts on buying a used one. I'd also plan to introduce you to my bird family. If you have watched my past videos, you probably heard my rooster crowing in the background every time. But sadly, something happened to them yesterday. I'll fill in a few details at the end. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. Bought this shipping container a few weeks ago. I'm trying to clean it up so I can paint it. Unfortunately, the forecast says there's sporadic rain in the next 10 days. So I have to pause my cleaning action and wait for a couple weeks before I can paint it. But I've worked on this long enough to share my experience and my opinion on owning a used shipping container. What's the plus and the cons? Probably mostly cons. And once I finish cleaning and painting the shipping container, I'll do a final review and summary of my experience. I got this 40-foot high cube used container for $3,500, including delivery to my site. Not bad, right? A new 40-foot container would have cost around $2,000 more. But now, I'm realizing that the price might be the only plus point for going with a used container. I wasn't fully prepared for the work needed to get it ready. The first challenge? The smell. There are some spills on the wood floor, and I haven't been able to get rid of the nauseating odor. I tried cleaning it with bleach, and I have had the doors open with a fan blowing 24/7 for weeks. The smell has subsided a bit, but I'm worried it will come back when I close the doors. I've seen people online burning ground coffee to mask odors, but that only seems to cover it temporarily, since it doesn't address the chemicals sipped into the floor. Once I'm done painting, I'll tackle the odor again. If it lingers, my drastic plan is to remove and flip the floorboards. The underside, which hasn't been exposed to spills, should stay odor-free and might solve the problem for good. The second challenge is the rust and prepping for paint. It has way more work than I anticipated. I have to go inch by inch, buffing the rust off every surface. Some areas are so rusted that sanding left pinholes in the metal. Yeah, it looks like close to an inch rain last night. Should I fill this hole with something? Like a level it so it wasn't, water will not puddle up here. Don't know what's the answer. This is impossible if I want to. This puddles up. Same here. I don't know. It sucks because it's gonna rain in a couple days again. As I'm blending, the rust will start to build up again. Plus, I can't paint when it rains because it's a water-based paint. So, I came up with an idea for like a dent or in a depression, some area. Maybe I can use a jack to try to push it up. Let's see, I'm going to test my idea, see if it works. Camera on the top. Let's see if it makes any difference. It's going up. for sure. Whoa. I don't want to go too much. This is the view of the camera on top of the container while I was pressing the jack inside. Going up, for sure. Whoa. I don't want to go too much. Well, I can see water flowing. That means it is coming up and pushing the water out. So I would say it's somewhat working. I just want to make sure I don't jack it too much. Oh. Wow, the water almost all gone. That's good. I don't know what happened. Where did the water come from? It was bad before, I guess. When I pressed it, it just made it worse. Something cracked. I'm not sure. Given what happened, should I even continue to do this? You can see the metal is stretched in all those spots. If I push it up, it may just crack. I don't know what's the best material, maybe GP Weld? Patch something up there. More than what I've bargained for. Really, if anyone wants to buy a used shipping container, you should give it a serious thought, whether this is something that you want to deal with. Piece of rock looks like really flat. Let me just give it a try. This piece of rock here, I think I'm only pressing a smaller area. Hopefully, we'll see what's the effect. I don't know. So I press this. I can see it's going up. Okay. Put a little stick here. I can see where the pinhole is from outside. Oh, man, even with this stick, you can see the thing is totally rusted out. Yeah, it's not, I don't think it's because of me pushing it. I think this is just rusted enough. It's just ready to fall apart any moment anyway. Okay, I'll see from outside. Not sure if you can see the holes here. There's a hole here. There's not a hole here. So I'm going to grind it to see how bad it is. I might even be able to spot weld this damn thing. This is a Delta Pro solar generator, and it's the solar panel, 400 watts. Then I got this little cheap Harbor Freight. I think I bought it under $100. They always have a coupon, so like 125, and then they give you a coupon like $40 something. I bought this for under $100. You can't even fill up your gas tank, $100 nowadays. But anyway, so this setup allows me to do is there's no electricity here. So I got the electricity. I was able to work on all those things, the grinding, now welding with all this little setup. And this is a flux core. This is a flux core welder. The advantage of this is you can weld in the wind And outside, you don't have to worry about a gas because it automatically contains the chemical in that wire. So even there's a little bit of rust or wind, and it can weld perfect well. This is for a small project, and for a large project, you should use a larger. So I got the solar power charging the battery while I'm using the electricity. Yeah, I don't think it can get better than that. Anyway. Burns everything. I think the original hole is somewhere here, and that thin piece of metal mostly probably melted, and this is mostly the deposit of my welding wire. I think this should do it. I'll test it out. I'm definitely not very proud of my welding skill. Well, I barely scratched the surface with that container repair job, no pun intended. I'll be getting back to it as soon as the rain clears. In the meantime, let me switch gears and tell you about my ER visit a few weeks ago. So my doctor advised me to check into the hospital emergency because she had diagnosed me with a cervical spine cord compression, a potential life-threatening condition. There I was, strapped in an ER bed scheduled for an emergency surgery at 7 a.m. the next day. But when 7 a.m. came and went, there was no doctor. By lunchtime, they mentioned rescheduling for the afternoon and handed me an almost comically high invoice of over $100,000, asking me if I would like to cover my part with a credit card. I told them to bill me later. Lucky I didn't pay right away. Finally, after 6 p.m., a tired doctor showed up and explained to me that the initial diagnosis was wrong. There would be no surgery. He suggested I cut back on my strenuous work and follow up with a physical therapy for any pain management. After another night in the hospital, I was able to go home.
Hopefully they won't be cutting you open. You feeling any discomfort here?
No.
It felt like a close call, and a reminder to stay grounded in both senses. I'm not 20 anymore, and I guess this was nature's way of telling me it's time to slow down a bit. Finally, as I was working on the container yesterday, my wife came over in a hurry and asked me to check what happened to our chickens and ducks. It was a tragedy. I thought I'll still share it here. Anyone who feels uncomfortable can skip the rest of the video.
The massacre. It's really heartbroken. Something broke into the chicken coop last night. This wet duck has been with us for at least 6 years. She was a lame duck. She was lame like a few weeks. When she was a few weeks old, we tried to use give her Nelson B12, try to cure her leg, and she recovered for a couple years, but then she eventually became lame duck again. She stopped laying eggs many years ago. We still kept her. It's just so sad. And this rooster, I love him so much. He's very festy. I can only imagine he probably came out fighting with whatever. I can only think it's bobcat. Anyone watch my past videos, you probably hear him every single time when I was doing video. He crows. I like it, but I hope I'm gonna tie all of this loose ends here, everywhere, and we'll make it secure today.
Although mountain lion had visited our chicken coop before, unfortunately I didn't capture any video this time. I suspect it's a bobcat. The hole is too small for a mountain lion to squeeze through. It's almost winter now. We will have to rebuild our flock next spring.
We will see it or something. Looks like it's. Okay, somebody's challenging the rooster. That's a stupid decision. That's a stupid decision. You don't challenge a big rooster. She's the big bully here. Now we get a new boss.